Hi everyone, today is Wednesday and I think I will edit this video today as well and upload it. Usually I have a little break on Wednesday and on film, but today is a lovely day. It's sunshine outside and I just came back from the meeting with the private school where my son goes to the nursery, and it's been 3 months now and we have come to a conclusion, and which I'm really happy about. And it just, the whole thing, the whole day, the whole morning actually, it's 10:30 now, feels really good. I have about half an hour before I need to go pick him up, and I just thought I'll do some art and some watercolor because I know that a lot of you have been asking me to do more watercolor videos because I've been doing more crafting, and I kind of, yeah, I feel good and I feel, I don't know, I feel like I'm in a happy place finally, and not that I haven't been, but it's been very tiring and stressful a few months, but anyhow, so I want to translate this into my art, and what I want to do today is show you how to utilize your scraps and illustrations that you aren't fully happy with. So since I got a die cutting machine, I literally kind of feel like I don't want to ever throw out anything watercolor related, even if it's something I do not like the look of. I still can do something about it, even these swatches, for example. So keep these little scraps of paper if you have a die cutting machine, and what you can do with it then is basically, I'm just thinking, I'll go with this one here, probably. No, I'll go with this one. So you can cut out different shapes. So I'm going to bring in my Jane Davenport sea flower shape, and I think I will cut out a couple of, yes, I'll go with this singular one. So I will go ahead and do that now. So I'm just going to build a sandwich, and the first that goes on is the platform. Then we're going to put the cutting plate. On top of that we're going to put paper, and then we're going to put the die cut. So here is the die cut, and I'm going to place it cut side down, and I'm going to look for sort of shapes or patterns that I want to die cut. So I'm going to go and try to make as many as I can. Okay, so I'm going to do this one like that. There we go, and then we're going to put the other cutting plate on top, and now I'm going to run it through. So that's one done. There we go. So it looks very pretty. I'll need to poke through the little holes. How delicate and super cute is this? And then let's see, I'm going to die cut this one. So that's two, and I think I'm going to do one more. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to use it or not, but I will do that. Perhaps I'll include a bit of green. So I'm not really interested in these long bits here. I'm predominantly looking to use these heads of the flowers, and you'll see in a minute why. If I haven't explained yet, what I'm doing is basically I'm going to use these die cuts as embellishments in my watercolor illustration, which you'll see in a minute. Okay, so I have them cut and ready. I'm going to open up this thing here, which I have bought a while ago and haven't had a chance to use it yet. So it'll be a good way to show you how to use this. So I think I featured this a couple of times. So this is the dye brush and foam pad by Sizzix, and what it helps to do is to tickle out these little pieces of paper that are stuck either in the die cut or in the as in the template, or in the actual embellishment. So you can see here, if I'm going to go like that, it makes your life a lot easier, and you don't need to sit there and pierce through with the little needle point. So that's how quick I got it done, and there is one finish. So I'm going to lay it aside. I would prefer to do it on the reverse side because there is no watercolor, so you're not going to scratch anything. You're not going to scratch the image. The other thing you can do, I kind of feel like I don't want to throw out these little cutout bits, and you can use them as little embellishments if you want to, because they're super cute. You can do something with it if you wanted to. There we go. Okay, so that's very quick. And now I'm going to start with the illustration. The illustration I'm going to do is on Tomoe River paper. This is the off-white, and I think I'll leave the information somewhere here in the title because I never remember the thickness. Alright, so I'm going to grab my Platinum Carbon Ink fountain pen. I'm not sure why so many people refer to it as Epic Pen. I think Jane Davenport called it that way, but it's made by Platinum Carbon Ink.
Never up, never down, never. Like a theme in a song, clever. Feeling high, feeling low at the same time. Feels so right, then I'm wrong, hoping I'll be fine. But I get up, I always do. I never think, I always do. Never thought I wouldn't jump, oh what a fool. But if I fall, I will get up again. I will get up again. Stronger than I ever been. I will get up again.
I'm now going to switch to the Sailor Fude De Mannen because it has the lovely Waterman ink in. It's dried up a little bit because I haven't used it, so the fastest way of getting this working again is get a little bit of water and a tissue paper ready and just dab it in like that. Once or twice will be enough. Let's have a look. Yes, it's working again. So what I'm doing here is just applying it in certain areas where I want to pull it out for that bit of extra drama. And I won't do it in many places because, I don't know, let me see, just a little detail here and there. Maybe actually on her neck as well, and her earring. Okay, so we've got a few black saturated elements here. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab a brush, and in this case it's going to be my favorite brush to work with. It's just so quick, and because it's Tomoe River paper and it's obviously very delicate and thin, keep in mind that you shouldn't really do big washes on it, but it does take a fair amount of water, which is great. So I'm just going to create a few details where I can. like so, just using the Waterman ink as a means of watercolor as well. So just a little bit of shading. Now I haven't done anything to her hair. I'm going to go ahead and dry it now, and once I've done that, I am going to move on to the watercolor. Okay, at this point, before I move on to the watercolor, I'm going to pull in these embellishments that I have cut. Now the idea was to use them in her hair, so let me just grab my scissors. So I'm going to basically cut right in this line where it connects, so it looks nice and clean. And I'll do it here, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And so we have two embellishments, and I think I'll keep it. I don't need the third one. Now I'm just going to switch the lights on, the studio lights, because it's a little bit getting a little bit dark. So there's a third one, but no, I think it's too much. Okay, I think it's better now in terms of lighting. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Before I start doing anything, I am going to look at the colors and sort of make her makeup kind of adjust to it rather than clash. And I'm going to grab my watercolor palette. If you're interested in what colors I have in here, there are always two links, one to this, which is the face palette, and the other link is to the candy box palette, which I put together. And there are all the names and links to these watercolors if you're interested. These are custom-made palettes that I made for myself, and I just really like these specific colors I picked. They're very individual to my taste. So I'm going to go into Rhodonite Genuine. It's one of my favorite pinks. So here, of course, because we used waterproof ink, we're not going to have any issues. And I'm going to blend this out because I don't want there to be too much color. So I'm kind of picking it up as I go with the brush. And that's it in terms of color. The only other thing I need to do is basically put a little bit of color into her eye and the hair. So that's what I'm gonna do. Just to keep it a little bit more interesting, I am going to darken things up on one side a little bit more. And then I'm going to go back into the eye and then make sure there's very little water in my brush and just pull it out a little bit so you make the eyes look a bit more livelier. And at this point, I'm going to go back to the heat tool, and that's like the best friend when it comes to Tomoe River paper, because you want to be getting the paper dry between the layers. And the good thing is it takes no time because it's so thin. So there's very little water on there. So I'm going to do some glazing, which I naturally don't do, but in this case I feel like I want to. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that grey again, and again dry it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dab off where there is wet paper, and you can see it creates a lovely lift. Okay, so at this point now what I'm going to do is now start looking. I'm going to go for the darker on this side because that's where I put the shadows in. And I'm going to attach these lovely ornaments in a way to her hair, and I think they look so adorable. So to attach it with, I am thinking of the matte medium. This is called the Distress Collage medium, and I should have a brush for it somewhere. Okay, this brush has been also waiting for this day. I tend to buy products that I think are so well designed, and I know one day I will use them, so I don't always buy something and straight away use it. So it might be sitting on my desk for a while until I find the right time. Okay, so this is a brush that's been designed for this. I think the Distress Collage medium. And what you do, I'm just going to use a little bit on the back of the lid, so it's kind of thick. And what you do is sort of kind of eye it a little bit, and then just place it there, and then apply some more. Now, because it's watercolor, and I think I've done some ink on there, which is not water soluble, it's going to smear, so be quite careful and clean off your brush in between. So what I'm going to do here is again round about the area that I need it to stick on, and I'm just going to press it. Actually, this time I'm going to use the lid to press it in place rather than going over the top, so it will be a kind of a cleaner finish. And then you can lift it and you end up with a nice flat pressed image, and I can do the same here like so. Just a few seconds, don't need that long. So you can see it sort of embosses it into the paper almost, and that's it. It looks a lot cleaner, but it really depends what you like. I mean, I could also go over with some watercolor around there if I wanted to. So here's what Tim Holtz recommends. He recommends to take a tissue and wrap your brush in it in between usages so that it doesn't dry up when you're going to... I just wanted to show you how nice and thick it is. In between usages so that it doesn't dry up on the bristles and then makes it a lot harder to clean up. And then when you're ready, you can take it to the sink. Okay, so that is it for today, I think. I finished a lot faster than I thought. So here she is, nice and finished. And let me just go ahead and dry this matte medium and see what it looks like once it dried. I kind of feel like I want to add something pink onto the dress so that we bring the two together. So I'm going to go into that rhodonite pink again and just dab it in. Maybe even just in a few of the places, not too much. And maybe all of them. Yeah, that works kind of nice. So that sort of pulls it together, makes it look a bit more balanced. Alright, so that is it. The matte medium is basically, feels quite dry to the touch, so it takes very little time to dry, and it's very pretty. This on this edge it's kind of lifting because there isn't the matte medium underneath, but that doesn't bug me. The rest of it is pretty much glued in anyhow. And so with a quick embellishment, my illustration became a little bit more interesting, and it was really quick to make. So if you pre-cut these and have like a little envelope with you, you can very quickly, once you collect all of them there, you can very quickly then start adding things and embellish your illustrations and give them a little bit more texture and dimension and you could like, you know, maybe make a dress out of this. You could make like you know, imagine these would be the arms. If I didn't have this, obviously it would be a bit too much, but I could make these to be like puffy arms. Looks very pretty. Or a little skirt out of a couple of them. There is the big one as well, which looks like that, so that could be, you know, also made into a dress or some sort of like a, you know, piece of clothing. So yeah, that is it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Bit of watercolor, and see you soon.